My dear friends, good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Crane Report with Duane Weiss, right here by my side.
Hi, all.
And your prayers are answered. We're back again, and in a show that is totally unrehearsed, which you're going to see tonight, because I have no idea what Duane has in his bag of tricks.
And I have no idea what he has.
He has absolutely no idea what I have in mind. So, with that off and running, would you like to kick the first football, sir?
Yeah, I'd kind of like to talk about the turf field.
The turf field. Go ahead.
I was under the impression that was going to be totally paid by donations. Here to find out the three towns came up with what? About $500,000.
Less than half of it, or was it more than half of it?
It was a
or
lot
whatever?
of money.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that when times they're looking for every dollar in the school system, and they're going to come back next year or year after say we're going to have to lay off a couple teachers. Well, don't come to me to ask for it then.
You know what? And in that vein, my wife refers to me as a Scrooge.
Well, mine does
But
to me too.
nonetheless, when I go to Millis over to Roach Brothers, a town that I don't live in, and 3 or 4 little girls come up to me and say, would you give us support money for our cheerleading squad so we can buy new uniforms? Listen, if your parents want and approve of you being a cheerleader, ask them to buy you the uniforms.
When did begging become part of the norm?
Yeah.
That's what I tell them. Stop begging.
Yeah.
If you want funds for whatever it is, do something for it. Car wash, bake sale, something. But don't stand here and beg. That doesn't teach a kid anything.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all except rattling a tin cup.
Yep.
Or a McDonald's foam coffee cup.
That's right.
And it really doesn't show a lot of initiative.
No, it doesn't.
But the parents, Waldo is busy playing golf every weekend, and his wife is working for some charity cause, or working 2 jobs just to support the damn family.
Just recently, North Attleboro went through a override. You remember the dire predictions that they gave? And somebody said that everybody that voted yes for that override would kick in the $400 or $500 that their taxes were going to go up. They'd be golden. Well, you wanted everybody else to kick in $400 or $500, but you now don't want to kick in $400 or $500 on your own.
Yeah.
If that was the objective, kick in your $400 or $500, end of discussion.
And be done with it.
Be done with it. You would have the money you needed, and that's it.
I'm with you. I'm with you on this one. And by the way, last night on the sports show, I made quite a pronouncement, so I'm going to make it here again for those that may have missed it.
There are some that don't watch sports shows.
Surfboarders are getting attacked by sharks.
Of course, you look like a seal when you got your arms and legs hanging over the side.
Well, let me tell you something. Okay, boys and girls, get ready for this. If you have a pad of paper and a pencil, write it all down. I'm on the side of the sharks. Okay?
Why did that not surprise me?
Well, by gosh, by golly, we've got so-called human beings who hunt and fish sharks and cut off the tail fin, the back fin.
The dorsal fin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they ice it down, and they sell it to the Japanese for tail fin soup.
Yeah, shark fin soup.
Yeah, shark fin soup, yeah. And shark goes back in the water, and it takes a while for it to die because it is totally disoriented.
Yeah.
It can't.
They never survive.
Never survives, no. Well, let me tell you something, okay? If the sharks can strike back at the humans for that butchery, I'm on the side of the sharks. I'm all for them. And there should be warnings posted. swim at your own risk.
And this is from a couple of guys that are not real animal rights type thing to the where we get crazy. We're not PETA types. Both of us were hunters, and you were a trapper.
Yep.
I was a hunter. You were a hunter.
Yep.
Yep. So,
but this really crosses the line.
Yep.
And the guy, that coward that shot the lion the other day.
oh, I don't know what that.
Somebody should shoot him.
Yep.
I mean, jeepers. Oh boy, that's not politically correct, Bill. Well, they'll be walking around outside with signs here, picketing us. Yeah.
But you know, I don't know how this guy is. He's a big time hunter.
Yeah.
And spending that much money, you had to know something was going on. He's not stupid. He's a dentist, I think.
Yeah, I hope he loses all his customers too. That's just way above and beyond the pale. Do you know something? I'll tell you the truth.
Didn't he shoot him with a crossbow first?
I don't
And
know.
then they tracked him for 2 days or some damn thing?
That's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I never enjoyed killing animals.
No.
But I realized that game management being what it is, animal management, wildlife management being what it is, you've got to thin the herd.
Oh, my God.
God.
We're down to what? We're up to what? 6 deer per square mile?
Or something like that. Oh, more deer here now than when we arrived, when the Indians were here.
Yeah, when the colonists came here in the 1600s, there's more per square mile than there was then.
Yeah.
The last day, yesterday afternoon, I went out in the heat. My poor tomato plants were all dying out there. So I wanted to give them a drink of water. A turkey walked out, stood twice the distance here, sat there and looked at me. I said, hello. But I know what's happening because that's happened before in my neighborhood. I went out one day and we used to have we've had cats in the past. We lost our last cat and I had about maybe 15 pounds of cat food left. And I started spreading out because squirrels liked it.
Yeah.
It was that dry kibitz type stuff. And I noticed the birds ate it.
Yep.
So I had spread it out a couple times. Went out one day, started spreading out, and there was 8 or 10 turkeys walking out of the woods right around my feet.
Yep.
I said, "Whoa, what is this?" Then I found out the neighbors down the street had been feeding them on a regular basis. So they see somebody that's got food, well, they just came out. I think this one was waiting for a handout.
Once you feed those rascals, you've got a friend for life. I'll tell you. You really got to watch feeding wildlife.
Yep, you do.
It is counterproductive in many, many cases. Well,
Okay.
right at the top, handicapping the Republican presidential scrum.
Oh, I don't think that's possible. We can talk about it.
Well, here we go. This would be very easy.
All right.
5 is an excellent choice. 4 is a very good choice. 3 is a good choice, but
Good choice, but yeah.
2 is not a good choice.
No.
1 is a disaster.
Yep.
Jeb Bush.
Popular down south in certain areas, not so popular up here.
And that doesn't strike me as being really the way he is, because he's quite moderate. In some cases, he's moderate.
He is.
And it would seem to me he would have attraction up here where the South might say, whoa,
because of
not
his-
quite as the kind of guy we want.
I don't know. I think,
He had an excellent record down in Florida.
yes, he did.
Yeah.
No question about it.
He's got
But I think his last name among the
lineage.
the Massachusetts liberals is
Yep.
going to hurt him here.
Yep. So on a 1 to 5,
Possibility 3.
3, okay. I'm going to give him a 5.
Okay. 5 being the best.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Ben Carson. By the way, these are
Dr. Ben Carson,
alphabetical.
one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, he's a great guy, isn't he?
Great guy.
Great guy.
I think anyway. I'm not sure what's in the
By
closet
the way,
yet.
I have his latest book. If you'd like to
I
read it,
certainly would.
All right.
Well spoken. I like his ideas. I like his philosophy.
Book.
I'll give if we got going from 1 to 5. I'll give him a 1 on that one.
Yeah, he doesn't have a chance, does he?
No, he doesn't.
1-1. Chris Christie.
I like him.
Yep, me
But
too.
I think the fat. He's like me. He's fat, and I think a lot of people are going to say, "I'm not voting for that guy."
How's
There's
he
gonna be a
like
lot
Pablo Sandoval, who plays for the Red Sox, and he's fatter than both of you?
I know. But it's just the idea. I like it.
Yeah.
I like what he says,
Yeah.
and I like the fact of what he says and how he says it.
How he says it.
How he
yeah,
says it,
he's
yeah.
very emphatic.
Very articulate.
Bordering on bombastic
Yes,
at
sir.
times, but there's nothing wrong with that. We get
nothing wrong with it.
bombastic on this show, and look at our ratings are
Constant.
sky high.
Just look at the paparazzi outside right now.
Yeah. You know, I think he'd be a good choice, but so I'm going to give him a 3.
Yeah, I agree there.
Ted Cruz.
Oh boy, I don't know. I can't call that guy. I don't know what he's.
Yeah, I
he's talking
only
about.
know what I read,
Yeah.
and he just can't keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, that's.
He is Tea Party, and that's not my kind
I'm
of
a little
view.
worried
Yeah.
about that. It's gonna hurt the Republicans down the long.
I think he's a disaster if he gets. Carly Fiorina. Now, this morning's Globe handicapped New Hampshire.
Okay.
But they didn't do it scientifically with polling. They did it with, well, how does he or she appeal to people? What kind of charisma do they have? What do they stand for? How much money have they raised? Are they in the race for real? Now, they put Jeb Bush at top.
Did they?
But they put Carly at number 5.
Okay.
She doesn't have a chance in the world.
I agree. I don't think so either.
Yeah. Again, she may be a very smart lady, and she might make a dandy Secretary of Labor or something like that.
I don't think she'd make a bad president. 'Cause I think we should have a president that has corporate sense.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing, I don't care what you say, running this company is running one of the largest corporations in the world.
Yeah. She doesn't have any foreign experience,
she
so
doesn't.
and that's going to hurt. I think she'd be a disaster. I'm going to put down 1, although I agree with you. She's a very sharp lady.
Yep.
Too many holes in her resume.
I think she's like Mitt Romney. She has the business sense.
Yes,
Yep.
indeed. Lindsey Graham.
Oh, I don't know, Bill.
Okay.
What do you?
I think he's just blah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I can't come to any
He
decision about it.
starts talking and he's going blah, blah, blah. And I'm just, oh my God, I can't stand this. You're right. I don't think I'll even rate him. Let's just, he's gone.
Yeah, there's so many here that it's just.
Here's one that is my personal unfavorite, Mike Huckabee.
Yeah, I agree with there.
Yeah, what a gas bag. And you know, Neil Cavuto had him on at noontime, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. Cavuto tried to nail him on some questions, and he said, "You're not answering my question, Mike."
That hurt. I hate that when they ask a question and they dodge and dodge and dodge.
Yeah.
Even if you got to say yes or no,
Yeah.
just do it.
And Huckabee just came up, he wouldn't express an opinion of whether Donald Trump is hurting or helping Republicans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Neil was getting hot.
Because you got an opinion.
Yeah, of
Well,
course
say
you
it.
do. God almighty. Well, he's a 1. He's a disaster. Bobby Jindal. We don't know anything about Bobby
who
Jindal.
knows who
And
he
that's
is.
Bobby Jindal's fault.
Yeah.
He hasn't, he's another one. I cross him off. John Kasich, governor of Ohio, long-term congressman.
Articulate seems to make sense.
Well, he does, doesn't he?
Yep.
He's also about as colorful as painting your walls beige.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He was
But
on
he was on
defense,
Fox.
the defense committee, I think it
Yep.
was.
Oh, he was.
Oh, yeah, he was,
Absolutely. He's a solid guy.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you something. Watch this. VP.
Good candidate for that.
That would be an excellent candidate for vice president. He's
Excellent
got
relationship with the military. He's accepted.
Congress.
Yep.
He's been a governor. This guy is maybe not the charismatic
You're right.
leader
Exactly.
that we need to run for president, but God forbid anything happened to the president,
He'd be a solid second.
he'd be a solid second. Judge Pataki is nowhere to be
He's
seen.
New Yorkie.
Rand Paul, can we X him out of there
we can
too?
X him.
He's
another
become
one, yeah.
totally forgotten. Here's another one that I'm all for Xing, although this guy should be doing a heck of a lot better than he is, and that's
that?
Rick Perry, the former governor of Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Good record down there.
Good record.
Strong guy, says the right things, but
Has got voter charisma, I think. Yeah, but what's there? I don't know anything about.
Yeah, I mean, what's he? Give me 3 things he stands for.
I can't.
I can't give him one thing he stands for. He waffled on the bloody border down there. He was all for building a wall, and I don't know. But Rick Perry has gone. Marco Rubio, I would love to say, is gone, but he's too tough to make gone.
Yeah, he's going to draw a lot of Hispanic votes.
Yes.
I think so. And
I think so,
now
too.
with the Cuban thing, I don't know where who's going to stand on that. And
Well, the Cubans are pretty solid Republicans down in Florida. And Marco certainly fits with them. Raising money would be no problem. He's articulate. But I don't know, he just hasn't grabbed me.
No, I don't know. Me neither. I don't think he has much influence up here.
He's so early in the game. Again, VP. Maybe.
He's a good candidate hooked for the vice presidency when they try to get either a section of the country or a section of the voter. Yeah. And that's typically what you pick for a vice presidential candidate.
You look to balance yourself
what
off.
They're going to bring to the table.
Yeah. You're right, absolutely right. New Englander, well, you got to get somebody either from the Midwest or the South to balance it off. Here's another one that we can X off without much. Rick Santorum.
Nah.
No. Rick is, I think in his personal life, is a fine man. He has very strong beliefs, but as a politician, the sun has set on Rick Santorum, I think. Scott Walker.
There are aspects of him I really enjoy or like.
Yeah.
I'd say enjoy. I like. And there are aspects of him I don't like too much. He stood up to they had a real problem. They tried to recall him as Wisconsin governor.
And he won that?
He won over that. And some of my relatives are going to hate me, but I agree with some of the stuff he did. They had a public servants union or a public employee union that was out of control.
He took care of that.
Yeah, he would only ask them to put 5% of their health care in. They went crazy. They said, "Oh my God, you're trying to break up the union." He says, "No, I'm just asking anyone to contribute. We can't afford this anymore." So I give him credit for standing up to that.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah.
I think he's a good guy. Kind of a lackluster campaigner, though.
Yeah, he's not dynamic about it.
No, and he starts talking, the bells and whistles don't go off. Save the best for last.
Oh, I know who that's coming.
The Donald.
Well, let me put it this way. You and I will both win Publishers Clearinghouse before he gets elected.
Yeah, he gets one with a circle around it.
But, having said that,
yep,
I think he's going to be a lot of fodder for this show.
Well,
because
you're absolutely right.
It's like, what's he going to say next?
Yeah.
He's never dull.
No, he's not.
You cannot say you're bored with him.
He's not. He's hardly what you'd call non-controversial. I mean, he's
not a wallflower.
He kicks the door in rather than turning the door knob.
He just kicks the door open.
But I think this is probably the high watermark for him. I don't. There's too many holes in his resume.
Bill, it's an ego thing with him.
Of course it is. He's a businessman.
And he thinks he's a celebrity. He's a movie star. Look at him. Sure. He used to go on, he had a couple of shows, but now he's every day in the news, every day on TV. Well, that ego is just getting stronger and stronger.
He's selling his name.
Absolutely.
And it won't surprise me at all if you don't see his name attached to golf courses or something like that. Another Donald Trump getaway golf center.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And spa and all of that. That's what he's doing. He is just solidifying that name.
And some of those things he's going out, that is just attention getting.
Oh, yeah, it is.
No one in their right mind would start with criticizing a POW.
That was easily the dumbest thing.
Well, I don't think it was dumb. I think look what he got in the press.
Oh, sure.
He got himself on TV. He got himself in the newspaper.
I've got a note in here. I might get by the way, my note paper is really good, folks. This is recycled from some drugstore. It doesn't say. It's just a generic drugstore bag. but something
We're
came in it.
conservative. See, we don't believe in cutting down trees and wasting them.
That's exactly right.
We recycle.
It says right on here, recyclable package.
There you go, and we recycle it again.
Yeah, so it was in the car. So I wrote a note here. And by the way, this is in the Washington Post, July 20th, 2015. There's a column by Michael Miller and Fred Burbash, B-U-R-B-A-S-H. But if you just go to Washington Post and then write in the title of this, it'll all come up for you. What Donald Trump was up to while John McCain was at the Hanoi Hilton.
I saw that article. I saw that thing, yep.
Isn't that great? He's
living the life of Riley.
Yeah.
Yep.
That will open all your eyes to anything you really wanted to know about Donald Trump and the depth of his character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And for him to criticize John McCain.
Riding around in limousines, enjoying the best society has to offer, from accommodations to food to comforts and
young ladies. That was also mentioned first and foremost. Yeah. Let me tell you, folks, that is something worth going on the internet and looking up. Just bang in what Donald Trump was up to while John McCain was at the Hanoi Hilton from the Washington Post.
Yeah, when he said,
you'll get it.
I don't support people who get captured.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way he's going to get captured for anything. Captured?
Man, what a bozo. But I have two other names.
And who might they be?
Mitt Romney.
Okay, I think he should run.
I would put him down for a 5. Rudy Giuliani gets a 5. In my estimation.
I am a supporter of Giuliani.
Condi Rice. How about a 5 for Condi?
Go give you 5 on that one.
Yeah.
You miss Sarah Palin.
No,
Not gonna happen.
I love Sarah Palin.
I do too.
I mean, she's fun, and they viciously
They
attacked
attack
her.
Just unbelievable.
Just like a shark attacking a surfboard. And they just simply couldn't say enough and do enough to her.
They were just totally massacred.
Thankfully, she made a bunch of money off of it. And God bless her.
Yep.
She's my kind of gal. But President, I'm afraid not. Are you brokenhearted over perhaps the biggest story of the last week or so?
What is
the
that?
Olympics failed in Boston.
I'll tell you, I couldn't sleep for 3 nights. I was so upset.
Well, that and the
over
fact that it was so damn hot.
Yeah. No, when Marty there came out with his speech, I said to Monica, "That's done. That's a kiss of death. Might as well just put a cork in it."
You know, Marty really didn't come out of this smelling like a rose at all.
No, because it was one side and the other side.
Yeah, and
I think he did the right thing at the end.
Well, he did only because Charlie Baker. I'm sure he talked to Charlie Baker, and Charlie said, "Marty, get out from under this because I'm going to pull the plug on this. There's no way I'm buying this pig in a poke."
Yeah, when he said that he wouldn't sign anything that would even put $1 responsibility on the taxpayer, well, you know that's done, because the IOC and the USOC, they know damn well there's going to be billions of dollars override. There always is.
You know what's going to be fun? If Los Angeles gets the nod.
Well, did you see the editorial today?
Oh, yeah.
And another one, and they criticize it. You're a city of, what they call it, hoodies and something else, and you don't know how to do the big boy sports. Well, welcome to it, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And they've got the infrastructure all set. That's the whole thing.
That's right. That's right. And even with the infrastructure all set out there,
it's still
going
to be billions of dollars.
Watch the overrun.
Oh, absolutely.
It'll be unbelievable. But
we were so unprepared for something like that. It's just incredible. And somebody today said that if these 2024 supporters, if they kept saying, well, this is going to increase the infrastructure and all this, well, bring it up. You had the funds available then. You had the funds available now. Put it in play.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No, we don't want to do it.
No, we don't want to do that. You know
why? They don't get anything back from it.
Well, here's
it's not
the
a
thing.
personal.
Here's the thing. I'll tell you the day. If I knew the date, I'd tell you. But I will tell you the exact moment that the 2024 crashed. And that was when the Herald published a 2-page spread with the pictures and names and salary of every phony politician that ponied up and that was hired by 2024, including the Governor Duvall. We can do it together.
$7,500 a day.
Yeah. That was, the people were outraged, and that was the end of it right then and there.
I think rightly so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the people were galvanized that day, and as a result, all the phonies now are marching off into the sunset looking for another thing to attach themselves to.
We're still gun shy from the big dig.
Yes, we are.
And we're going to be gun shy for the next 30 or 40 years.
Yep. It just goes on and on. Compound interest is a very, very dangerous thing. It just, you cannot pay that off in a timely fashion.
And I didn't see this project any different than the big dig with the prevailing wage and the overrides and this person making millions and that person making millions, appointing incompetents. We have a record of political appointees in this state that don't know what the hell they're doing.
The
they're just sucking off the
unions
system.
were beating down the door.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's get going on the construction, the infrastructure. Oh, man. Very interesting. I'm going to ask you, what sort of a person sits in the darkness and shoots laser beams at airplanes?
Oh my God. Another bunch of Looney Tunes.
Is there a lower form of life
than
those people?
No. All for a thrill. I don't know what they want to see, a plane fall out of the air and then cheer, or what the hell
What
they're
is
doing.
it? What's the end game here?
I don't know. There's a mentality here that's crazy.
Yeah. If it were happening over a populated neighborhood where the planes had changed their glide paths and they were coming over a neighborhood and rattling windows 24 hours a day.
But even then, it's crazy.
Well, you can't do it. But what I was going to say is, at least in a warped mind, there might be some justification. But
not now.
This is sheer lunacy.
Once they started reporting it, then it seemed like a bunch of the
copycats
wanted to do it. That's the word I was looking for.
I don't know what. No, it's not in that article. I don't know what the penalty is.
I don't think there's absolutely a divine. Well, interfering on flight crew probably, and
reckless endangerment.
Reckless endangerment.
Yeah, but
I think they ought to take something like that and make a special penalty, make it so severe that nobody in their right mind would do it.
30 years.
Make it 50.
Yeah, but can you just see the bleeding hearts and the do-gooders?
Yeah.
You know, little Bobby was. The kids picked on him in school, and he's just acting out some of his anger, and he doesn't mean it. And to put him in there for 40 years, and he won't get any help. And
if he knew the penalty going in, so be it.
He brings down a plane, and 240 people die.
Another 100, 200.
Yeah, where are the bleeding hearts then?
All of a sudden, they want action.
Oh, man. One other thing here that drives me totally and completely insane.
We have no shortages of those, you know.
Nope. There's quite a list of them right here. The state of New Hampshire has beaten us to the gun. You know, we think here in Massachusetts, we really take this title of the hub.
Oh, isn't that a joke?
Yeah, the hub of civilization. The greatest universities, the greatest hospitals. We're the greatest at every bloody thing going on.
Hub of the universe.
But New Hampshire passed a law recently, and the governor signed it in, that you can't use your mobile phone for anything while driving or stopped at a traffic light while you're in traffic. Fines start at $100.
Not $5.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck ours is, but it's ridiculous, whatever it is. Does anybody ever get written up for that? No.
No, they don't bother enforcing it. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's like
Here they don't.
it's like mufflers on motorcycles.
Yeah, they don't. They just look the other way. I'm not going to bother.
You know, I'm afraid of those guys. Yeah, they're bad. I leave them alone.
We are real lax in a lot of things. In this but we have the arrogance to think that we are the leading edge of everything, but we're not.
We got it nailed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but if you tried to push that one through the State House, imagine how far that would get.
Couldn't. There's too many elements.
You couldn't even get that introduced onto the floor.
No, you couldn't.
And by the way, just giving all credit where credit is due, Bobby DeLeo, the Speaker of the House, has come up pretty strong as a pretty smart legislator. He's working with the governor, and he's this bipartisan stuff. It's working with them.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
So a tip of the cap for Bobby DeLeo.
I think Bobby DeLeo or Mr. DeLeo got a little bit scared with the probation department, and the
unindicted co-conspirator.
And when they found out, they listed all the legislators that were sending in their request for employees. He was right on the top of the list, and he says, "Oh."
I think so too.
Yep.
And I think that, quite frankly, the government might have sat down with him and said, "No, listen, Bob.
You want to follow Sal?
Yeah. You can help us a little, and or you can obstruct us.
That's right.
But if you want to play the obstruction game, there's an empty cell beside Sal."
Yeah, and we're going to have a new attorney general, so don't count on.
That's right. It's not going to slide away.
Yep.
Also, he's got another problem too. I mean, he's been in the House since the dawn of civilization, but they only make $65,000 a year. Now, as Speaker, he makes more than that. I think he's probably 95, something like that. And I'm sure his law practice probably has benefited too. Yeah. But nonetheless, he's looking for a bigger pension. I think he'd love to be the president of one of the smaller colleges.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Even if it was a small one, 250 or 300, that would set him up perfectly. So I'm sure he's being a good lad.
I am not a supporter of our state educational system appointing past politicians as president of a university or
well, you're glad to see at UMass that this has really changed now. UMass Lowell, when Marty Meehan left, they immediately embarked on a nationwide talent hunt.
That's what should happen every time, every one of them.
Yeah, and then very quickly.
But where'd he go?
Well, Marty became the head of
UMass system.
Yeah.
Oh, Amherst.
The whole thing. Yeah.
Well, why wasn't UMass on a national search?
Well, Marty is a well-known politician.
That's my whole point.
And then up to UMass Lowell when he was the president. So they launched their full-scale search. It appointed his assistant.
Isn't that amazing?
She came out number one in that nationwide search.
It's like when somebody's driver at some time passed. What you get past the head of Massport or something?
Registry of motor vehicles.
That was it.
Are you set to get mad?
Oh, most of the time.
Getting millennials to vote, especially Latino millennials. There's a drive the talking heads were on one of the local news shows talking about it. The show-up rate for millennials at the polls is extremely low. And talking to my sons, they say, guys in our age group don't give a damn about it. They're turned off by the whole system. And I talked to a couple of other young fellows, college kids, that are helping working on my house. And they said the same thing.
Yeah, they don't bother going to vote for anything.
We'll vote because we really think strongly about certain things. But they said our peers could care less about the whole system.
Yeah, they don't care.
So
well, it's no different on a local level too.
Let me ask you a question now. I want a good answer here.
Why are you asking me then?
Getting millennials to vote. The question is, why? If they aren't interested, have no knowledge of how our government works, or more importantly, have no interest in learning, why do we want these turned off dropouts to vote? What do they have to add to the system?
They don't.
Poor decisions, that's what they have.
Poor decisions are being used by somebody else.
That's exactly right.
They're being used by in this case it's the Democrats, because they know they're going to vote Democrat. They don't care if they're totally illiterate. They don't know what's going on. They don't care as long as they did sign right here, put your X there. That's all they're interested in. That's who's behind this whole program.
Of course. Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. And it makes it sound like these millennials have so much to offer.
Well, they would, but they're just being used as pawns.
Exactly right. But they don't care. I don't want somebody that doesn't care.
You know, there's two things about that. If you don't vote, don't complain what happens. And if you do vote, be careful who you vote for, because you might get them.
Hey, do you know
who
what?
you're voting for.
I was talking to a couple of folks the other day, well, a couple of months ago, and they lamented the fact that, gee, the Norfolk election really stunk this year. There was nobody to vote for. There was no contests. Who are these people? And what's up with this? What are they, what about this and what about that? And I said to them, well, hold the phone here. We get what we deserve.
That's right.
If we don't involve ourselves in the political system or getting folks to run, qualified folks to run for the zoning board or for the board of selectmen, all right, then all right. If we don't do that, then we get stuck with what does run.
And then complain and bitch about everything that happens.
That's exactly right.
Don't get involved in yourself.
That's exactly right. And as someone said, that was listening in on the conversation, when's the last time you went to a meeting of the Conservation Board and said, what the hell are you guys doing? Allowing a building like this to be put up on a swamp. Oh, well, I'm not going to go to that. I'll just get mad and I'll punch somebody or something. Well, maybe that's what they need. But
even on local, let's take the town meeting, for example.
Yeah.
You ever watch, if there's a school issue, they'll have, and they want something.
Yep.
They'll get 300 people to show up.
Oh, yeah.
But if they want it voted first,
and
then they vote, and what do? En masse, they get up and they leave. That's not town politics. That's not the way that government is supposed to work.
The special interest groups. They rig it so that, oh, well, how are we going to arrange the warrant? Probably, let's get this one up front. So we get a good turnout to really debate this issue. In other words, the bulldozer.
Right.
That's
why it turns off a lot of other people.
Well,
too.
It does. It does. And you know, I tip my hat to anybody that gets involved in town politics.
It's a thankless job.
It is a thankless and miserable, bloody job. But you know what? If you don't do it, and then you complain about it,
that's right.
Don't come to me and complain.
That's
I don't want to hear
exactly
it.
right.
Yeah. Well, our president is upset.
Oh, why? They criticize his dancing in Africa?
Yeah, let me see, and I wrote some notes here. Let me see if I have this straight. Obama's troika, led by John Kerry, negotiates a poor treaty with the Iranians, one full of holes and poorly understood. The devil is in the details. And this meets with opposition in Congress. So our president, wandering about the Sahara, throws a hissy fit and blames the Republicans for this travesty, and not the real perps, the sorry troika who conceded everything to get a deal.
Take a look at the contents of that deal and then look in the mirror and who the hell you got to blame.
Yeah. Of course, you must understand, with Obama, as with Obamacare, a near total disaster, this treaty is now his crowning glory. Obamacare is not his legacy, because it's going to get torn apart, as it has to.
Yeah.
So this is now his legacy. And this is what happens when we elect lightweights with no experience and expect them to rise to the occasion of being president. Can't be done, and we're paying for it as this 8-year nightmare of incompetence marches to its bitter conclusion. But look who is warming up in the bullpen, Hilly and the Donald. Is this the end of civilization as we know it? A choice between an incompetent and failed Secretary of State who has a faulty memory and is challenged when it is time to tell the truth, and a crude, loud buffoon with a bad comb-over. What a choice. Is this the end of civilization looming?
Yeah, this literally could be. That's why it's so damn dangerous. 10 years from now, 10 years from now, Iran has got the green light to go ahead and do whatever they want. There's so many provisions in that thing that they can be working on this surreptitiously, behind the scenes, all the way. And 10 years from now, develop something, somebody's going to give them an ICBM if they don't already develop it in 10 years.
What?
And we could be, they could follow through, we're going to wipe Israel off the map. You know what's going to happen here. We're going to bomb somebody else. They're going to bomb somebody else. Man, it could be the end of civilization.
Yeah. What is to stop the Iranians from exporting copious numbers of nuclear engineers to North Korea?
Not a thing. That's the whole one of the big
let
problems.
them work on all their research up there in the barren, starving country of North Korea.
Because the sanctions are going to go off Iran. They're going to have buku money coming rolling in from oil sales and everything else.
Bingo.
They can now afford to send this up to North Korea, who's like your poor relative, doesn't have a damn thing. And they're going to jump all over that because it suits their purpose.
With both feet?
With both feet. I mean, they can't go wrong.
And
well, they can go wrong, but they can't.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. But
why can't Kerry and much less Obama see this?
I don't understand
Everybody else
this.
can see this.
I mean, this is madness.
Yep.
And Obama is just absolutely acting like a child, stomping his foot. I'm going to stomp my foot, and then I'm going to hold my breath until you Republicans get your act together.
And it's not even a Republican issue today.
No, it's not.
The American Legion came out against this thing. There's been whole groups, and they're not even politically aligned.
Listen, this is such a can of worms.
Yep.
How about let's publish this treaty and let the American people see it.
Really take a look at what it is.
Yeah.
And somebody on the side analyze it, because you can't overestimate the intelligence of your readers.
No, you got to go to some place like the Heritage Foundation, or go to 3 or 4 think tanks like that, and give them a chance. Give them a month to pour through this. Let's see where the details are before we go any bloody further.
You're right. This is extremely scary. When I saw this thing, I said, "This is going to be trouble." Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but 10, 12 years down the road, it's going to be big problems.
Do you think that they, in their heart of hearts, now, by the way, they're an extremely naive bunch of people, the people in this administration, but do you think in their heart of hearts, as good people, they're saying to themselves, we have 10 years to straighten out those crazy radicals in Iran. We're going to smother them with love. We're going to work our tail off to educate them, and we're going to turn them around. And if worse comes to worse, we're going to have the CIA hit the Ayatollah.
They're counting on a second coming.
Yeah.
That's what they're counting on.
Yeah.
There's going to be some miracle someplace. And
that's it.
Around.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh.
I'll guarantee you that's what it is.
Well, I have a bit of good news for you.
Do we have good news?
Yes, indeed.
Folks, hold on to your hats.
Hold on to your hats. Something good has come out of California. They have mandated vaccinations for school children.
Oh, great. I saw that. Excellent.
Yep.
If just the rest of the states would stand up and say, get the shot or get out. No more school.
Massachusetts won't.
They won't do it.
Nope.
Yeah.
They have
one of the last ones there.
They have up to 5% of the children that refuse, because you don't know what's in that vaccine. Because Dr. Strangelove might still live and be a research chemist at Merck, and you don't know.
Tamarasol, was that what they were?
Yeah, I don't know which one. Well,
then it started with this, I think, Jenny McCarthy and some other actresses, and Stern's wife, and I'm not sure about Stern's wife and a couple of the other Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Don't get your kids vaccinated because Tamarasol, the preservative that's in it's going to cause autism. Well, that's been proven over and over and over. It's just not true.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that there is Tamarasol in it anymore anyway.
It's madness.
It's
Absolute
craziness.
Madness. Jenny McCarthy. Well, she's a deep thinker.
Isn't she, though?
I mean, what's her qualifications?
Well,
she was a Playmate of the Year.
Yeah,
Playboy, yeah. This is, I know that you being cynical and me being naive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You'll be all over this.
Don't ever believe that, folks.
Investigator traces erased IRS workers records to worker error.
Oh, my God. I wanted to throw up when I read that. You believe that? I got some oceanfront property in Arizona.
2 IRS workers at a computer center in West Virginia erased thousands of emails related to the tax agencies, Tea Party attacks. But there is no evidence they were part of a criminal conspiracy.
Of course not. Just like Hillary and the papers that disappeared, and a year later they just mysteriously appeared on the desk in the White House.
3 years later.
Well,
whatever.
That happens all the time.
My house, it happens all the time.
Oh, yeah. When you see stuff like that, you just cringe. How in the hell could you publish something like that and think that you're going to get away with it? Well, you can publish it, but why do they think that the American people are going to believe it?
Good news from Chicago.
All right.
Are you ready for this?
Yep.
The Chicago sales tax is now 10.25%. And the restaurant tax is 1%. If you go out to eat, 11.25%. If you just buy things, 10.25%. You know,
that's 1% on top of the 10%.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, what a deal. We might as well go out there for dinner.
There you go.
But it's not
what's
that
on
way.
top of it.
No, okay. Yep.
This is Chicago, the home of Democrats. Let's say Rahm Emanuel, Barack Obama.
Yes.
Yeah. These, the Democratic stronghold of Chicago is now up to 10.25%. Unbelievable. Now, I'm going to dodge this next one because this could really stretch out into a hoorah. But I have 3 questions for you.
All right.
First of all, to improve our demographics on the show, especially among younger people, should I dye my hair black?
You know, I think you'd look better. Remember the rainbow color? I think you should try to go for that. There used to be somebody always sitting behind a home plate.
The spiked look?
Maybe the spike or the triple colored. I think that's what you ought to try.
All right, I'll think about that. Now, here's another thing, too. Whatever happened to bowler hats? I like bowlers.
Yeah, they were around. They don't. How long? They've been gone. I mean,
they're gone a long time. The Brits still wear them.
Yeah, the Brits still wear them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Churchill made them famous.
Yeah. I like bowler hats.
Yeah.
I may buy one.
Well, hats in general.
Yeah, I like hats. Yeah. Now, on Fox Financial the other day, Brian Thomas was on. Now, Brian Thomas I used to listen to when he was on 700, the big one out of Cincinnati. That's a very conservative talk show.
Okay, I've never listened. I never heard it.
They're wild, but they're the biggest thing in that section of the Midwest. And now he's on 55 KRC, and he appears occasionally on Fox News. Well, he was on the other day, and without a doubt, the worst wig I have ever seen in my life.
Guys wear the thing that you can see it's a wig for 2 blocks away.
This one looked, honest to God, like he found a woodchuck dead on the road, picked it up, and glued it on his head.
Not even straight.
No.
Yeah.
You know, I've talked to guys about wigs.
Yeah.
What? Why do you wear a
I just
wig?
thought of something. Go ahead.
Why do you wear a wig? And you know what?
Well, I was going to say, I got some comments about that, too.
In my life, I got one answer. My wife wants me to.
Exactly. Same thing our friends
And if you enjoy some of the marital benefits that I extend to you, you'll wear the wig. Otherwise, don't come around expecting love and joy the way it's been working.
There was another couple we were friends with, and I always knew him bald. Right, and one night, one of the first times we went out, and he shows up with this rug. My wife says, "What's with him?" His wife says, "I don't like him going out with that hair on." I said, "Yeah, but he looks so much better without hair than he does that damn rig, that rug." But some people got the idea that if you don't have hair,
I'll bet you the real answer was, I don't want people thinking I married an old man.
Yep, I think that's true. And she was a couple of years older than him.
Yeah.
We just had got a guest this week. I'm not telling how they. Sorry, I know they watch. Rita and Tom,
I met them. Very nice people.
Yeah, you did meet him.
Yeah.
He's bald, and now when he's bald, he makes sure every day or so he takes the razor and he gets it nice and clean. He looks great that way.
I know.
Yeah.
My son does that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I had something this morning. I don't know if you saw it. See Chris Matthews' interview with the head of the Democratic Party? It's beautiful. Okay? He had her and he asked her, what's the difference between the Democrats and the socialists today? She refused to answer. He gave one of those roundabout answers. And he said, I'm asking again, what's the difference between the Democratic Party and the Socialist Party? Round again. He says, you're not going to answer that, are you? She says, no. She wouldn't answer.
Isn't that something? Chris Matthews?
Yeah, from MSNBC.
Of all people.
Of all people. I was shocked.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I
wasn't watching. Fox ran it this morning about 5 o'clock.
Wow. Holy cow.
what's the difference between the Democrats and the socialists? And she said,
Do you know the
she
greatest,
wouldn't get into
the
it.
greatest line on socialism is Margaret Thatcher. Socialism fails when you run out of other people's money.
That's very good. I just like that liberals. A liberal is a conservative. A liberal has been mugged.
Yeah. I've got to skip this one.
Yeah, we're getting. They gave us the high sign here.
Yeah. Uber versus taxi cabs. Share with me some knowledge on this, will you? Some opinion.
Well, it's hard to sort out what's real here, because when the taxi people put stuff out, you know what their motive is, that they're taking our business. Uber people says, well, we're offering a better service for a better price. And when they start saying, well, this one's dangerous and this one's dirty, this one's not that, there's so much minutia in there. You really can't tell what's going on here. But you take anything, any organization like a taxi, and you put a threat to them, an economic threat, they're gonna bristle with it. Okay.
Yeah. I hate this idea of the medallions.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's
ridiculous.
That
They
is absolutely
ought to
ridiculous.
Scrub that whole idea and say, look, you form a taxi company, all right, we're going to hold your feet to the fire. You're going to show us your vehicles. We're going to inspect them on a regular basis. We're going to really inspect your drivers on a regular basis, and your drivers must be fluent in English.
Yep.
If they're not, out the door.
And if you got on the medallion, if you take the medallion away, call it a license, but you can't trade it.
I know.
If you want to license them, I don't see why a city can't say, well, a license $200 or $1,000 or $5,000, but that's it. When you're done with it, it goes back.
That's right.
It does get traded off for $100,000 to somebody
else.
else.
What happens here is, I think what they're afraid of is we're going to have too many taxis. Well, gee whiz, the free market will sort that out
quick,
because some companies will fail.
Yeah, why would you put a taxi on the road if you're not going to make any money?
But these Uber people, you got no idea when you call up and say, send a taxi to 72 Main Street, or send an Uber to 70, you got no idea whether it's a pervert.
Yeah.
You got no idea whether it's a criminal that's been behind bars 6 times. You got no idea if it's an illiterate, illegal alien.
Well, you can, those last two phrases you can put with a taxi driver too. But I've been in.
But you got to police taxi drivers better than they police them.
They don't police them.
You really got to have enforcement of clean cabs.
Yeah.
And you know what? Rather than the taxpayers pay for this, let the taxi cab owners
pay for it.
All right, by funding inspectors. Duane, we got through a pile of stuff here that I had. I only got 2 left, and they are both adventures that are going to really take some chatting.
Good.
So I think we'll have to postpone that
we'll have
to
to
next time.
And some of that stuff we got potpourri, like in Jeopardy.
Yep.
We're going to do a long show one of these times.
Exactly.
2 hours.
Exactly. You know what? That is a great idea.
Just take all that old stuff we didn't get to, and it's going to be, it won't be current, but it's going to be interesting.
Yes.
Like we always are.
Yeah, like we always are.
Sure.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a great idea, because I got some stuff in folders.
I do too, but it's
that
out of date.
That will really make for a good show.
Because our stuff ages real fast.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
sometimes by days,
Yeah. Well, listen, folks, we appreciate you tuning in. We hope that we provided you with some knowledge and some entertainment. And come on back next time in a fortnight or so for more.
Email us if you got any ideas, or if you just want to say,
assault us when you see us
in
the street or at church.
Throw money at us, but that's all we got to have.
Send money in large amounts in small paper bags.
Right, you got it. Good night.
Good night.